Hello, I'm Bud McCord. I'm here in Brazil, South America. It's September 24th, 2021. Welcome to Food for Thought. We're in John's Gospel, and we're watching Jesus disciple his very first disciples. And we can see clearly that everything that Jesus does in their lives is certainly not accidental. Everything Jesus says and does has implications that go far beyond what these people were seeing. But what they were seeing was the true heart of God. They were walking in the light because Jesus is the light. And the story that we've been looking at in John chapter 9 about the man born blind that Jesus healed is much more than just something that happened to this one man, but it is a pattern of what can happen to every single human being. Because there is a sense in the spiritual realm that we are born blind. In the spiritual realm, we need to have our eyes opened. As certainly as a child is born, it must leave its mother's body and come into the light. We must be born again. Our eyes have to be opened to the true character of God. There's certainly many things that we as human beings can consider, can draw conclusions. The creation glorifies God. There's a tremendous amount of what theologians call common grace. But there must come a moment when our eyes are opened to the person of Jesus Christ. And the one who opens our eyes is Jesus Christ. The story continues on after verse 25. And I want to read all the way to the end of the chapter and then make a few comments for your thinking and for your consideration. Verse 25, he, the blind man, said, the man born blind but now is seeing, said, whether he is a sinner or not, I do not know. One thing I know, that though I was blind, now I see. The growth in this man in a matter of days is mind-boggling. But that's what happens when your eyes are opened by Jesus Christ to the reality of God's love. It is a conversion. It is a transformation. And so this man is totally unafraid, just saying, declaring what he sees. I was blind, now I say. Then they said to him, what did he do to you? How did he open your eyes? He answered them, I told you already. Look at the confidence. This man was born blind. He's been begging his whole life. Now he's in front of the most powerful religious leaders of his day. And he says, I already told you, and you did not listen. Why do you want to hear it again? Do you want to become his disciples? This has been true of all disciples since the beginning of Christianity. They are many times poor, abandoned, weak people who suddenly are inspired to take on the world and tell the truth. Then they reviled him and said, you are his disciple, but we are Moses' disciples. We know that God spoke to Moses. As for this fellow, we do not where he is from. Listen to the man's answer now. The man answered and said to them, why, this is a marvelous thing, that you do not know where he is from, yet he has opened my eyes. Now we know, listen how he talks. Now we know that God does not hear sinners. But if anyone is a worshiper of God and does his will, he hears him. Since the world began, it has been unheard of that anyone opened the eyes of one who was born blind. If this man were not from God, he could do nothing. This is the guy who was begging on the streets a couple of days before, perhaps. And he is looking into the eyes of the most powerful religious leaders of his day. And he's looking at them as an equal. And he's not afraid of them, of what they can do to them. If you've lived the way he's lived his whole life, you're probably not afraid of too many things. They answered and said to him, you are completely born in sins. Now this is what they think of him. And are you teaching us? And they cast him out. Jesus heard that they had cast him out. And then when he found him, he said to him, do you believe in the Son of God? Listen, this is one thing we need to know. Jesus will always find the people who have been cast out by religion. He will always find the people who have been cast out from religion. And he answered and said, who is he, Lord, that I may believe in him? And Jesus said, you have both seen him, and it is he who is talking with you. Then he said, listen to the confidence, Lord, I believe. And he worshiped him. He literally is standing in a city which has just rejected him, and he is completely focused on Jesus. He is completely in the light, and he worships Jesus. And Jesus said, "For judgment I have come into this world, that those who do not see may see." I've come for people who do not see. I come for the sick, he said in other places, not for the well. I come for those whom, so that those who do not see may see, and that those who see may be made blind. Then some of the Pharisees who were with him heard these words and said to him, "Are we blind also?" Jesus said to them, "If you were blind, you would have no sin. But now you say, 'We see,' therefore your sin remains." This is incredible. He's looking at the religious leaders who have just watched this whole thing unfold, and they've heard all the things that have said and been declared. And he's looking at them, waiting for them to admit that they don't see. That's all he wants from them. Admit that you do not see. You really don't know the heart of God. You know the things that are said in the Old Testament, and you've studied everything you can from the Old Testament. And Moses is the one that you're listening to. But until you admit that you're no different than this man who was born blind, until you admit that your theology doesn't make you better than the man who was born blind. In fact, your theology condemned the man as if he was blind because he deserved to be blind. He said, that means you don't see. You do not see. And God will always, through Christ, choose those who do not see over those who say that they see. We all must come to Jesus and admit that we really don't see. We really don't know God. And we can't come to God unless we go with you, Jesus. Every true conversion requires that a human being says, without you, I cannot see. I do not see. Remember what Jesus said? He who sees me sees the Father. There is no way for a human being to truly know the heart of God and to go into the heart of God unless they come to the light that God sent so that they could see the true heart of God, and that is only done through seeing Jesus Christ. So, if you cannot see me, Jesus says, if you cannot see me, and I'm standing right in front of you, and if you cannot see me for who I really am, you are still blind. Now remember this, that there's nothing that you can do to take yourself out of blindness. So the man who was born blind, he didn't do anything except cooperate with Jesus. And when you believe in Jesus and cooperate with Jesus, then you begin to see God. And the only way to keep seeing God is to keep in the light of the person of Jesus. So many times we make Christianity this great, passionate, theological study, when in reality is we need to learn Jesus. It's because in seeing him, our theology grows and develops. This man born blind, illiterate probably, saw Jesus and could debate with the religious leaders of his day because what he had seen had shown him more than their theology had managed to open their eyes. He could see the heart of God in Christ. It is a remarkable story in this chapter. I've certainly enjoyed it this week. Quite frankly, it's gotten a hold of me in a way that it never had before. I hope it has for you as well. It's been a pleasure to talk to you during this week. Lord willing, we'll see you next Monday. Over the weekend, we have lots going on here in Brazil. Lots of times to talk to people, counsel, do 3 services on Sunday. We're very busy with very, very good things, but all of them must have as the goal to get people to Jesus, not to us, to Jesus. God bless you. Have a great day.